Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. We have yet another fascinating show tonight. We're having a look at a couple of different fun articles. I really wanted to make some really cool pictures like I did for the last week's news. I just didn't have as much time today. But I'll tell you, we're going to have a great time anyway. That doesn't really matter. So today I guess we're gonna start out. Just say hello to everybody. How's everyone doing there? FPS Machete. Machete? I don't know. Machete? I don't know. Greetings. How are you anyway? Well, you killed Kenny. How dare you? Hello, Robert. How are you? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, APB Hood. I totally forgot to send you an email. It was a crazy week, and I had to deal with some really moments in my office today. Greetings there, Red Falcon Run. That would be redfalconrun.com. He has a cool video-based game. I'm the web admin over there. Oh, come on, you want to say hi or not? Come here. What? All right, say hi to the microphone. Say hi to everybody in the microphone. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, kitties. Hi, everyone. Switch to Linux. It rocks.
All right. And so, we're going to start out there. Let's see here. Oh, boy. Where do I start? Well, I guess we'll start with the title screen today. We're going to say, shut your pie hole. So we're gonna end the show once again. I thought it worked well to end the show with the title. Of course, I'm not sure. I think I have twice as many articles as I usually have, so I'm not sure if this is gonna be long or if I'm gonna browse through some of these guys. But we're gonna have some fun here today. I'm just about all set up. Also, for those that have been following a little bit, I'm working on getting some channel support options going. I've been looking into Patreon and how I want to set that up. The challenge I've been having is that I have 3 different channels I will eventually be running here on YouTube, which sounds crazy, and it probably is. However, I've been trying to think about the best way to get the Patreon running in that respect. Amazon is already up. The links are in there. So if you do buy stuff on Amazon and you want to support the channel there, go ahead and do that. I'm still kind of working on what type of goal setups I'd like to have for Patreon. I have some ideas, and I'm open to thoughts and ideas and suggestions there if anybody is interested. With that, I think we might just about be ready to get started. Let's see, some people are still coming on, so I'll give it just another minute. Syria needs a Linux distro. Yeah, there's some out there. I don't know. Kitty says hello. One of my kitties ran off. The other kitty's still over there. There's the other kitty in the bodacious kitty cam once again. Kitty. Hi. Say hi to everybody. All right. So there's the kitty. All right. We also have try Linux Mint Cinnamon. Yeah, Linux Mint Cinnamon. That should be good for Syria. Yeah, that distro just rocks. I love it. That's what I'm running here. So I have a 2 monitor setup, both HD monitors, 2 HD cameras running, studio mic running, and hopefully we won't have any frame rate drops. I did fix that setting from the live stream if you were on Wednesday with that totally awesome planned obsolescence talk. I did fix that problem. Let's see. Arch plus Cinnamon. Is there an Arch plus Cinnamon distro out there? Let me, I like my screen being on back there, and I forgot to turn on caffeine, so let me turn caffeine on. Yeah, caffeine! All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to start on out. We're going to start on out. I got me a nice little spinny guy in the background there for us today. But we're going to start out with a fascinating new thing. So if you remember when the whole fake news debacle-iness was coming around, what ended up happening is, a group of conglomerations come on. And I talked about this before, but a group of conglomerations came on. They're like, we're going to fact check, which pretty much became, we're going to liberal media check, but you know, whatever. Well, Google is now implementing this, utilizing those companies into some search results. Wow, this is a crazy idea. And so I wanted to introduce this first, and we'll show how it works, but I want to see some of the crazy fact checks you want to do. I tried a few different random odds and ends. Please, nothing crazy. You know, I don't want craziness on the stream and stuff, but, you know, appropriate things, I should say. Of course, the sample here, this is from Google, of course. They're introducing the fact check. So what this gives us is, as you can see on this screen, it gives us another little item at the bottom of the search result, and will give you these fact checks. So if you do 27 million people enslaved, it'll give you these. Of course, they're by Politico. Let's pick somewhere not biased. Of course, Snopes used to be good to look things up. Now they're just full liberal bias spin. Not that I'm super conservative. I like to take an honest and balanced view, and I don't want true to be redefined as what makes me comfortable or what I want. And that's kind of the difference, what's going on here. So shoot me some things, and when we get a chance to dive into the comments here, then I'll go ahead and run some things through Google search and see if we can find these tags. Like I said, I was looking up some fairly controversial things. I found tags implemented in some of them. I did not find tags implemented in a lot at this point in time. So this is something that's still going through the ringer here. So we're going to start with that, but we're going to start out with some privacy and security type news, and we're just going to build up to an intriguing crescendo today. So first, up to 100,000 taxpayers compromised in the FAFSA tool breach. So FAFSA, of course, if you want to go to college, you pretty much have to fill out the FAFSA. It doesn't matter. You can be like, I have $7 million in the bank. You still got to fill the stupid thing out. So there is a little link button in there, and it allows you to simply input a little bit of data, and it will auto-import all of your tax information in there for you. Well, what was happening is, as people were filling this in, basically scammers got a hold of a little bit of information from students or from people who could potentially be applying to be students, and then it dropped the data in, clicked the button to get all the tax information of all their parents. It became a great way to harvest people's data. Of course, once you harvest all that tax collected data, so of course the IRS itself has never been hacked, but there have been ways people have got in there and hacked various elements of the IRS to get in there. So if you're applying for student loans, just remember, all right. This guy here is, of course, this was not an issue with the IRS as much as it was this tool interfacing between the IRS and the FAFSA, and I believe in response to this, they shut it down for now while they figure this out, but that's kind of exciting. Of course, what do you do when you're like, taxes, it's tax season. You guys have your taxes done? I got mine done over here. I'll probably mail them in the 14th or so. I don't know. Actually, I think we have until, the 16th or 17th this year, because 15th is on a Saturday. So, I'll drop mine in my mail the last possible minute. But what do you do? Well, you got to stop and play some video games to relieve the stress. Unfortunately, GameStop got hit with the roulette wheel of data breaches this week. I need a roulette wheel. I need to find myself a little roulette wheel. Who gets it this time? Yeah, actually, Robert, it's funny. The IRS is antique. Good friend of mine, works over at Lowe's and says the data systems are so unhackable over there because they're so old. They're still running DOS. Nobody knows how to hack it. Like, all these finagled hackers. C prompt? I don't know what to do. It's a C prompt. April 18th, they're due. Thanks. Good to know. I'll drop them on my mail the 18th in the morning, probably. So anyway, what was going on here is, sorry to everybody who I just broke your headphones and made you go deaf. I apologize. I'm trying to contain myself, but at least I backed away from the microphone when I did that. All right. So what happens here is malware got installed somewhere between September 2016 and February 2017. And for that period of time, credit card data was being stolen and over by some hackers. And so, GameStop, And I have to do some research now because I bought this iPhone at GameStop, I believe. GameStop is a fabulous place to buy used smartphones. I need to double check. I thought it was within this same time frame as well. So I'm going to double check that, double check the number, and keep an eye on things in whatever account that was. It was one of my debit cards. This is exciting. Of course, you will not have time to be going to GameStop in order to play video games, because the latest version of ransomware has to have you scoring a high score on a very dangerous video game in order to unlock your device. What? We don't want money anymore. They want you to score 0.2 billion in lunatic level on TH12, undefined fantastic object. Does anybody know what that is? I think there's actually a link to it down here. I didn't get a chance to look at it. Okay, so I guess here's this game. Let's run this YouTube video, see what we got. Woo, got sound. Let's turn the sound off. Okay, so this is the video game. So you have to score about, they said what, 0.2 billion in this. And if I remember correctly, I think this is not lunatic mode. This is, maybe it is lunatic mode. I think maybe they fixed the link. I think the original link to this was not lunatic mode. So you have to score a certain amount in this video game, apparently. Looks kind of fun. I have to go check this out. I don't want ransomware, but I'll have to go check this out. Anybody else familiar with this bad boy? All right, let's have a look at comments here while that's playing. That way it gives you something to look at. All right, let's see. Try my jar, just didn't work for me. That background looks like it belongs in a shooting stars meme. Yeah, it's like a mechanical background actually if you hide everything. Let me actually show you my background there real quick if I can grab it. Let's see. Let me hide that. Hide that, hide that. That's what the background actually looks like. So that's pretty cool. All right. So fact check. Is the Earth flat? Yeah, we're going to look up that one. Let's see. Sounds like the excuse Google always needed to control what you see. Amen to that. Okay, get ready for tomorrow when the IRS is hacked by some kid. Yep. Hi, Fidel. How are you? Fatal. I always want to call you Fidel. I'm sorry if that's not good. Got my boxes ready for my tax lady. Good to know. Next time I need a phone. Yes, GameStop good for phones. Pay cash apparently though. More important, how do we implement that into Red Falcon Run? How? Like how? The lunatic mode or the ransomware? Don't put the ransomware in it. That's bad. There's a few more eyebrows than you want. This game at all? Yeah, I think it's a Japanese game. Is my friend on here that plays a lot of video games? Any of you guys play a lot of video games? Ever hear of this thing? All right, we're gonna come over here to Google fact check. We got some facts to check. Let's go ahead and double check this. All right, so is the Earth flat? Of course, I have to come down here and hit my Google to actually do the search on Google. Okay, so what we're looking for is in any of these results, if anybody has commented on that, it would be on an extra. See, I'm not seeing that. Let's see if I add the word Snopes, if that helps. Okay, so here, Snopes is implementing this. Did Donald Trump say the Earth is flat? And they said false. Claim. Donald Trump says he believes the Earth is flat. Claimed by CNN.com in Denmark, I believe that is, and that is false. So here's another one. Also Snopes. So apparently Snopes does realize that the Earth does have a little bit of curvature to it, which is good. I was starting to wonder. Huffington Post. These people are idiots, by the way, over Huffington Post. Literally, I saw an article, it was like 2 years ago, from Huffington Post. And it there's this new Grand Canyon discovered in the heart of Yellowstone. Huffington Post, hire new idiots. That has been the #2 attraction to Grand Canyon ever. Right behind, I don't know, Mammoth Falls is up there, Old Faithful's up there, and the Wyoming, Yellowstone Grand Canyon, that's been up there. That is not hidden. That is not news. That was 2013. Fire that guy. But Huffington Post, apparently, they are also agreeing that the Earth is not round, or is not flat. The Earth is round. So Huffington Post over there, at least they're believing maybe part of the fact that lunar landing happened, or may not have happened. But that's a good one. Did we do a lunar landing? Did we land on the moon? Come on, Google. Let's add Snopes. Apparently, if you add Snopes, it seems to work. Ron Howard said moon landing was faked. That is false. Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing. False. This is interesting here. Claims Neil Armstrong's spacesuit does not match up with the footprints supposedly left. Claimed by Internet. What do we have, a botnet on the internet? Well, I guess we do have a botnet on the internet. Oh, well. Anyway, that's fun. Okay, let's see. How do you get the animated wallpapers in a program? I have a folder of animated wallpapers. And let's see. So if I come down here to screen cap only, here's my folder of animated wallpapers. So you can see here's my animated wallpaper folder. So I have a whole bunch of them right now. I grabbed these, I think, from ignitemotion.com. It's on my final slide here I'll show. And then what you do is on OBS over here, you are going to add a media source right here. And then make sure that in the media source options, you are going to loop it and restart playback when the scene becomes active. So that is how you get an animated background in OBS, if nobody explained that before I got there. Oh, and I actually hit start recording. I hope that didn't mess up the stream. Says it's still going though. Hit transition, not start recording. There we are. Who killed Kennedy? See, that's not a true false though. We might maybe look up Kennedy conspiracy. I don't know. Lunar landing is a hoax. Try that one. All right. Hey, Louie, how are you? Lunar landing is a hoax. Hey, we actually got one without it actually having to be having Snopes on the end. They are saying that lunar landing is a hoax is wait, what is false? Let's see. Admitted in an interview that he helped NASA fake the moon landing. False. Okay, so sometimes you got to read between the lines, make sure you get it a little bit right. You may be reading false on the real question, but you have to read the claim first. Of course, once again, the internet said this. Did you guys know that 30% of all statistics are made up on the spot, and internet statistics were made up on the spot, and Abraham Lincoln said that? Yeah, just letting you guys know. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's get rid of this one and this one. So, of course, after we're done with that, we're going to get into looking at Samsung. Yeah, of course, we know we got Samsungs, right? Here's your Samsung Galaxy. Let's see. So, Samsung's been trying to move onto their own platform that's independent of Android, of course. And, so basically, they've been utilizing this other platform here, which is Tizen. And Tizen apparently is so bad, there are 40 different zero-day vulnerabilities. There's even a funniest quote in here. It may be the worst code I've ever seen. Oh yeah, that is some fascinating stuff there. So literally Samsung's trying to take trying to get rid of the Android and work entirely on this new version that is so security exploitive. It's like the hacker's dream. So be careful if you're on the new Samsungs. I have to double check. I should still be on Android, I would hope. I wanted an Android phone after all, not a Tizen phone. You can update to a Tizen system with any malicious code you want. Awesome! So watch out for that security and privacy. Sometimes it's like sometimes people don't know what they're doing, especially get the small startup companies. They don't always know how to secure everything. They don't know how to get the SSLs communicating right. You just got to be careful with some of those. All right, let's see. I think it is worth setting up a VPN ever since Trump allowed internet providers to collect data on you. It is a pot calling the kettle black. The VPN company has no more or no less regulation than the ISPs at this point, so it comes down to whom do you trust more. For me, I'd rather trust the US company before the third world country where I have a snowball's chance of double HE, hockey sticks, whatever, of defeating an American corporation. I have less chance than that of taking on a foreign company. I'm not going to trust a VPN to be any more useful with my data than my ISP, and then filtering all that data through a VPN is going to drastically impact your bandwidth. So no, I don't think it's worth it. I think a VPN is generally still best used for connecting to networks and making sure that you're secure if you're on home systems. So I have a Raspberry Pi right here. I have a VPN built on this guy. When I leave the house, I can plug this guy in, and I have a VPN back into my own home network. So no, I don't think it's worth it. And by the way, all Trump's issue did was stop a law from going into effect in December, which I still think should have gone into law. But a lot of your ISPs, at least your big ones, have come out recently saying that, no, they're not going to collect data. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that stuff at the end. Hitler did nothing wrong. That's intriguing. Mark Shuttleworth announced that Ubuntu 18.04 will officially drop the Unity desktop. Yes, he did. They are going with GNOME. They did not specify if that's GNOME Shell or what's going on exactly. But yes, Ubuntu, starting with 18, will no longer ship with Unity. I'm hoping somebody still has Unity out there, but who knows. Tizen is on the lower end Samsung phones. Thank you. I did not know that. I have no idea about Tizen other than reading a few articles about it. I did not get a chance to look up a whole lot more. Quite an accomplishment for anything to be worse than Windows Phone. Woohoo! Congratulations, Samsung. Absolutely. Said Ubuntu is adopting GNOME. They are also pulling out of the phone market. Both were confirmed by Ubuntu. Which is sad. I think I would love to see Canonical stay in the phone market. Just abandon convergence. That's probably fine. I used to use a Windows Phone. I did too until it just sucked too bad. Use Tor for browsing. Yes, if you are searching for anything that is odd, anything you don't want to be tracked, Tor is great. Of course, I'd use Tails or Cubes. I wouldn't do a Tor browser. There's too much DNS leakage out there. It's like eating Alestra, but for your internet. If you get that reference, I'm sorry. All right. So, of course, talking about security and privacy, China is now ramping up its toilet revolution. They're going to be doing face scans in order to give you toilet paper. I'm going to let that soak for a second. Yeah, I'm about lost it on this one. You got to go into, the problem, of course, is China's been having a problem with tourism. They're trying to get tourists there, but they had this problem that a lot of their toilets and stuff are dirty. And toilet paper was lacking, and basically what was happening is people weren't sure if the next toilet was going to have toilet paper, so they were taking large amounts of toilet paper with them. So they're ramping in the toilet revolution over here in China, which basically means that now you get to go in to do your business, and you have to do a face scan so the people in China can take all the biometrics of your face and know that you're doing your business. Don't forget the fact that now there's a camera in the toilet, people! Ah! And then every 9 minutes it will shoot out like a 2-foot piece of toilet paper for you to clean up your mess. So China's kind of... never had any desire to go to China. Yeesh. Hello, Shakir, how are you? Kitties say hello as well. There's the kitty cam. Kitty, want to say hi? Kitty's too busy sleeping to say hi. All right. So, yeah, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. I want to see Libri MS security focus phone. I have no idea what that one is. My heart is broke with Unity gone. Well, hopefully somebody will fork it. And another note, Robert, is they have to keep it around till at least 2021 because it is built into the main system in LTS, 16.04 LTS. So they are going to keep it around. It's just a matter that they're not going to future development, which is the direction they're going with Unity 8. Thank you. That was a bad idea. Keeping Unity 7, though, would be awesome. I'd be really cool if they just kept developing Unity in a better format. Maybe add some customizability to it. That'd be good. Says already has a kill switch with the camera, just like its laptop. Oh, yeah. I think I maybe did see a little bit about that. I've seen a couple of the privacy-centric phones. Some of them are even available in the United States, which is kind of cool. Is the Vault 7 dump authentic? Let's put that into the Google. I'm not going to comment on the Vault 7 dump. I actually agree with somebody on the Vault 7 dump. It's like if WikiLeaks was all about like, okay, I was going to say no results. What? Is that like flagged or something? I agree with somebody that said, if WikiLeaks is all about just simple transparency, why aren't they releasing equal amounts of stuff on China and Russia and other state actors we know are doing this? The Snowden leaks, I think, were a good telling thing because it identified real legitimate crimes. I'm not sure the Vault 7 leaks are really legitimizing, showing any real crimes, more or less how they're actually doing stuff. And so with that, I don't know. Fact check that. What? Oh, fact check the toilets. Chinese toilets. Oh wait, Chinese toilet revolution. Let's try that. Fact check. Toilet revolution. How about this? Is China face scanning for toilet paper? I spelled, for toilet paper. Man, no one's fact checking that. Bummer, no one's fact checking that yet. Sad. Is there a toilet paper app, a toilet app for your phone? I don't know. I think with some of these phones there should be. All right. I'm planning to change to Linux on my gaming rig and will have Windows on another SSD for gaming. Since Unity is dead, which DE would you recommend for a Mac user? I need my dock. As much as it pains me to say it, Elementary OS, I don't like it personally, but that does seem targeted towards Mac users. And it actually looks very, very similar. I've been critical about it mostly because I can't get it to work, and about 50% of the people can't get it to work. The other 50% of the people behave kind of like Mac fanboys, which is a very interesting thing in a Linux community. But check out Elementary OS. The other one is try Zorin with like the Mac mode. anything like GNOME 3 can be set up very, very, very much like a Mac. So anything good with GNOME 3, so maybe even Ubuntu GNOME or something like that would work for you. If you want something closer to Linux or closer to Windows, I like Mint. But if you're looking more for a Mac type replacement, Fedora, not Fedora just because it's so hard to get set up. More of an advanced distro, but Elementary OS or anything running GNOME 3. CIA can use string obfuscating algorithms to attribute cyber attacks to other countries. That seems to be somewhat valid. China is now getting people's faces. Yes, they are. Try Zorin for Mac user. Yes, we are on the same page. Awesome. Yeah, what I liked about Zorin is you could swap between a Mac type view and a Windows type view. So that's actually the cool feature of Zorin. Fine, thanks for asking. I hope you're doing okay. Good on your side. Yes, and the kitty is probably purring up nicely. Okay, let's get back to another news article. We'll come back to more comments in a few. Let's go beyond this. Oh, yes, this was exciting. So, of course, with the Windows Creators Update is being launched, I believe you can manually get it now. Otherwise, it's set to start rolling out in Patch Tuesday if they don't cancel it again. But they finally decided to open up out all of this data. It's like, okay, we finally get it. You're concerned about what data is being collected. Well, here's sort of a list. This is just some of it, though. So this is Microsoft IT Center. This is the 17.03. Is somebody running Windows? Isn't 17.03 not the Creators Edition? Isn't this the current edition? I don't remember what my numbers are for Windows. So this is this. Okay, remember that Windows 10 has Basic, Intermediate, and Complete, I think is the last one called. Well, they got rid of the intermediate. Now you have a basic and a complete diagnostics data. This is what is collected exclusively on basic. This is not the advanced. This is the basic. Okay, device broken down into common data, device connectivity, configuration data, product service usage data, product and service performance data, software startup and inventory data, content consumption data, browsing, search and query data, inking, typing, speech, utterance data, utterance, not speech like utterance. That like utterance is a specific word. It means anything like it caught all that. Scary. And licensing and purchasing data. So here's your common data. Basically, what's the ID, Xbox ID, HTTP, header information, including, this is not the IP address of the device, but the source IP address and the network packet header received. Various IDs that are used to correlate and sequence related events together. That's quite specific. Not. Device ID, this is not user-provided device ID, but an ID that is unique to the device, whether it's a desktop server or mobile, the collection time, and diagnostic level, basic or full. Okay, I guess full is the last one. All right, so device and connectivity. So this is if you're running a Windows 10 computer, you have no option but to use this basic unless you do some serious registry hacks, which will simply get overwritten when they do their next updates. OS information. So basically they have all of the details about this. And this, by the way, is called fingerprinting. In a computer, you can identify a computer not just on some unique device ID, but in fingerprinting. This is the concept behind Tails, because Tails even goes into the configuration to spoof the system configurations. And so the idea is Tails is the more you modify it, the more you stand out. If you use it as it is out of the box, Tails itself is like every other copy of Tails. They have a very hard time, especially since all of the data goes back and forth through Tor networks. They have a very hard time piecing everything back together. That's why Tails is a better system, because it leaves out this fingerprinting. But this is what they're doing, is they're collecting a fingerprint. There is a difference if they want to use this data for some forensics type data. You can tell a computer apart by the RAM chips that all have their own unique identifiers on them. Total memory, video memory, speed, how much the memory is available for the device, which has reserved memory. So all that kind of stuff. Device capabilities. Ooh, the number of displays, the resolutions, DPI. Is it a wireless cable device? Is it an OEM or a platform face detection? I mean, this is a lot of stuff. Device preferences and settings. All of your settings, boot locker, secure boot, encryption settings and status, Windows updates, default app choices, default browser choice. Like, this is stuff like, if I change my default browser from Edge to Firefox, it's not just something that's on the computer. This data is being collected and sent to Microsoft. Data peripheral or device peripherals, what type of stuff you have. Device network information. Is this a paid or a free network? Is this a proxy network? Do you have anything goofy going on? Local internet connectivity status. This thing will determine if you are on a LAN. Wi-Fi direct status, IDs. Wi-Fi scan attempt counts and item scans. I am guessing that that's like a Wi-Fi scanner that will look at other networks in the area and collect more data about other networks in the area. Manual or auto-connected enable, time result of connection attempts, airplane mode status and attempts, interface description, data transfer rates, app usage, what apps basically you're using, time and count of app launches, duration of use, how frequently are you using which apps, Cortana launch, entry point, and reason. That's neat. Notification, delivery requests and statuses, apps used to edit images and videos. Really? They're sending app? Yeah, okay. SMS, MMS, and vCard and broadcast instant message usage statuses. This is why I don't use contact books in Microsoft Office or in any Windows product. I don't use the contacts. I don't use vCards. I don't want to run SMS through the computer. Nothing else. Incoming and outgoing calls and voicemail usage statistics on primary or secondary line. Of course, that relates if you're using your Windows computer for phone calls and stuff. Emergency alerts are received and displayed stats. Content searches within an app. Reading activity, bookmarks used, print used, and layouts changed in an app. Like, this is like, I have a Kindle app. What book am I reading? How frequently am I reading it? What is the print setting I'm using? What is the layout change? That's creepy. App or product state, login properties, device health and crash data, what causes crashes, all this type of stuff is being sent. Device and performance reliability, software and inventory data, installed applications and install history, app driver, update manager, component name, ID, package, family name, OS component, install date, method, MSI path. I mean, this is crazy. Okay, this is the one that's the craziest of all. Content consumption data. This data includes diagnostic details about Microsoft applications to provide media consumption functionality, such as Groove Music, is not intended to capture user viewing, listening, or reading habits. Baloney. I have a big old bologna sandwich. I should make myself a bologna sandwich some of these days. Oh boy. This is what they collect on movies, information about movie consumption. Yeah, it's not about your viewing or listening habits. We just collect information about movie consumption functionality. Yeah, the video width, height, color palette, encoding, compression type, and encryption type. Instructions on how to stream the content for the user. Smooth user stream manifest of chunks of content files that must be pieced together to stream the content based on stream resolutions and bandwidth. The URL for a specific 2-second chunk of content if there is an error. Ooh. I was going to make a comment, but I'm going to resist myself. Someone else, if you know what I'm thinking, can leave it right down there. Full screen viewing and mode details. TV and music. Okay, service URL for the song being downloaded for the music collected when an error occurs. Content type. Local media library collection statistics. Number of purchased items and the number of playlists. Well, that tells you a little bit about viewing, listening, or reading habits. Region mismatch, UROS versus Xbox Live region. Reading and app access content or status. An option used to open a Windows Store books. The language of the book. The time spent reading the content. I thought it was not about collecting user or reader habits. But apparently they are determining how much time you spent reading the content. So, I don't know. content type and size details. And then the photo app, the file source data, is it local, SD card, network device, OneDrive, image and video resolution, video length, file sizes, types of encoding, and collection view or full screen viewer use. All right, if you're still on Windows 10 after this, switch to Linux. This is the basic level. You can't send less data than this to Microsoft. Oh, we forgot browser search data. Text typed into the, okay, information about, this is Microsoft browser data. Of course, remember they're trying to push everything right on into Edge and Edge and Edge and making it almost impossible to not use Edge. Text typed in the address bar and search box are sent to Microsoft. Text selected for Ask Cortana search. Service response time. Auto-completed text. If there was an autocomplete. Navigation suggestions provided based on local history and favorites. The browser ID. URLs, which may include search terms and page titles. And on-device file query. What type of query issued the index? Number of items indexed. File extension of the search. This means that if I do a search on my device for a file on my device, it's sent to Microsoft. Inking and typing and speech utterance data. Voice inking and typing. The type of pen used, if you're using one of their cool little penny guys. The pen gestures. The palm touches, input latency, instrokes, text of speech recognition results, result codes and recognized text, language and model of recognizer, app ID and speech, whether a user is known to be a child. Here, kiddo. This is Bill. Confidence and success / failure of speech recognition. Of course, your purchase history and your entitlement. That right there, people, is why I switched to Linux. Okay? That right there. This is the basic. This is the type of stuff I've been worried about ever since I first saw anything about Windows 10. That is why Windows 7 is the last productive Windows computer I will ever run. I see the comments has been busy. Let's go ahead and have a look at those. Well, let me go ahead and switch to the cute kitty cam while I look at comments. All right. The Unity version of Ubuntu should call be Uni Ubuntu. Woo! Probably community support for U8 at Musical Neptunes is an all open source security, privacy focus. Check the leave room. Zoran makes you sick, Louie. Oh. What are your thoughts? New upcoming update for Windows 10. I hope we just answered some of those. Do you think it will help them a bit, or you say will be considered malware? Well, I think that I didn't look into it quite as much as I would have liked to. But what I have seen of it, they at least are being a little bit more open with this. There's a few things that I recall seeing some improvements on, but for the most part, I haven't been paying that much close attention to Windows because of all that stuff I just read through. You can use dock on any Linux distro. Yes, that is true. Right now on Linux, Fedora 25 LXDE. Greetings, Lance. Just joined but leaving. Farron is better than Zoran. Maybe, yeah. Farron was huge to download, but yeah, Farron is actually pretty good too. Use Mint with Docky or Plank for gaming rig. What was the Windows 10 data leak about? Oh, the Windows 10 data leak. What was this about? Oh, this isn't a data leak. This is just them finally telling you what is being sent to them when you have the basic level diagnostics being sent. This is nothing new. This is just them being truthful finally about what they're actually collecting. Maybe. Of course, this is not the full diagnostics level. I shudder to think what they're collecting on full diagnostics. Could use Macbuntu. Spybot anti-beacon for Windows 10 blocks a lot of the IPs that take data. Also use LTSB, so no Cortana or Metro. After all, that it runs okay. Yeah, that's what you could do. The problem is it kind of became like a Facebook versus ad blocker fight. Is, it's just this giant fight going back and forth between the two, one-upping each other. As Spambot adds things, Microsoft adds things, and it just has this giant back and forth. I'd just rather be on Linux where I don't have to sit there and fight with all that junk. Their basic level still has a keylogger. Yes, it does. Steve's Ubuntu Linux used Plank by default. Cool. I will look that up if I get the chance. Spybot reblocks each restart in case any updates overwriting. Okay. Same here at Android Fan. I had a bad experience using Docky. I think I tried Docky once. It was just okay, I thought. Spy was great, except it still can't block telemetry collection. Yep. Is the Spybot secure? See, I'm leery of Spybot because if you don't know Spybot's history, the first version of it was actually a spyware. It legitimately was spyware when it first came out. And I don't know what happened to the world, but I don't want to go near Spybot anymore. I had problems with certain distros with docs. Same issues here. My knowledge, Louis, it's still collecting telemetry data from several sources I follow. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like, the best way you can tell if Windows 10 is doing all that data collection is you need to run it in a virtual box on top of a Linux distro running Wireshark, or some other way where you can interface it with Wireshark so that you can collect the data and see what's going back and forth. And when Windows 10 first came out, Ars Technica did a huge study with that, and they just found they couldn't track everything down. Use that kind of bot on your WinOS, which is closed source. Mixing Spybot and Spybot Anti-Beacon. It's two different. It's run by the same company, I thought. I might be wrong, but I thought. George Orwell. Yep, 1984. Sooner or later, you're going to try Fedora or a review. I've done a few things with Fedora. It was a long time ago, so I might need to go back and to look at Fedora. I'm not sure I've looked at it since 25. I thought I did, though. I can't remember. But yeah, maybe I'll have another look at Fedora again soon. Especially, I think, with Fedora now, I believe they made it slightly easier to put the codecs in, but I can't remember. Sources from Barnacle is from Barnacle, who's an employee of Microsoft for 15 years. He's the original source I heard about Spybot Anti-Beacon. Yeah, I watched his video too. A lot of people have said that. I'm talking about when Spybot first came out, and I think it was the late 90s. I was the computer guy back then, a little bit. And Spybot had some issues. And again, they might be a different company, but I think it's the same company. And I think they've cleaned up their act. There's too many options in the sphere for me to worry about. Let's see. Actually, on 7 myself, Windows 10 is a thought crime. Yes, agreed. Preach! I gotta come up with a better screen for when I get all passionate and stuff, because I actually have a ring of fire. And I gotta build a ring of fire for when I get preachy. It'd be fun. Try PC Linux OS. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna write that one down. PC Linux OS. Not realize how Microsoft has become so big brother. Yes, Microsoft has become very big brother. This was just them finally being honest about it. Can't change anything yourself. Very ethics of free open source products. You don't care. Okay. That is true, Tom. A spyware. What's a good distro for old equipment? I would try something running XFCE. So Xubuntu Peppermint is one of my favorite for that type of equipment. And I know a good friend of mine also runs Peppermint on a very old laptop, and it runs well enough. The MX16 is great, and of course I need to throw Linux Lite into there. People kept on correcting me on that, so check out one of those. Actually, the order I'd probably try them out. I personally prefer Peppermint. A lot of people personally prefer MX16 and Linux Lite. So look at one of those three. You can get live keys of all of them and try them out. Linux Lite, I believe that's Debian based, and MX16 is Debian based, and Peppermint is this weird amalgam, mostly Ubuntu based, but borrowing from a lot of different distros. Later, Tim. Okay, you can look it up. Not really sure what you're trying. Okay, did look it up. Installed Manjaro today from Ubuntu. You can use Wireshark and block all IPs to the traffic. Actually, there's a problem with blocking IPs. Like on a software base, you could block IPs, but I found on Windows, at least on Windows 8, it had been Windows 10. I rolled it back to Windows 8, and I could not even block outgoing connections with the host file, which is supposed to override everything. So that Microsoft is bypassing the host file with a lot of their telemetry. And that in and of itself is concerning enough, because how do we know that if Spybot wants to go in and say, and I don't know this for sure, but they might go in and say, well, we know these are the things, so we're going to add these to the host file. It doesn't matter. They don't respect the host file when it comes to their data collection and telemetry servers. And so you have that problem going on. That's what I watched just using TCP Viewer, and actually there's another one I used as well just to make sure Microsoft's TCP Viewer wasn't working. All right. New CE came on. It became more about Big Brother. Yes, that guy needs to be watched scrutinously, and let's see how he likes it. Puppy Linux is also good for old. Yeah, I've never actually tried Puppy Linux a whole lot. I believe though Puppy was mostly designed to run off of a thumb drive though, versus these other ones that I mentioned are installables, easily installables. Since Windows 10 and privacy concerns, many have switched over to Linux. I've switched 5 people to Linux with different distros, but are overall happy with it. Yeah, and I'm with you. You know, I've been encouraging anybody, unless you really need a Windows computer for a specific task, like Windows gaming, great. You know, just build a computer that you can boot into Windows when you need to game and boot into Linux for everything else. That's just the best way to go. And there's things like, I still do a lot of my work on Windows 7. However, I'm gearing up to be able to do all my work switched over to Linux as soon as the Windows 7 computer dies. So we'll see what happens there. If Spybot uses the registry, that could very well block it. Yeah, but that will probably be patched soon by Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft likes going in and patching up all the stuff, and so it requires you then to go back through and communicate more with Spybot back and forth. And so, see, I don't want to use an OS where I need to use a third-party service to get the OS to stop spying on me. That's just ludicrous. Outrageously stupid. So, oh boy. Okay. Well, we're about an hour in, and we're not even to our top stories yet. So let's move off of this. So this is interesting. So Trump, of course, this week signed the final bill to lay rest to the ISP privacy rules. But despite the overwhelming passing, or at least majority passing, I shouldn't say overwhelming, it should just be, how about barely squeaked by passing, it still looks as though 70% of Republicans and 72% of Democrats all oppose it. So your average citizen opposes getting rid of these privacy rules. Yet our lawmakers just did whatever they wanted. Yep. Amen. That's whatever. Let's see. Most aren't aware of VPNs and Tor, lawmakers and donations from lobbyists. Yes. This is the problem. You know, it's right now the telecom and the business seems to be running the administration, and that's a problem. So this was an interesting thing because although these privacy rules are going away, it's very possible that some overturn could still happen in the works. But of course, this is an interesting article that came up. Some people are trying to, quote, pollute their browsing web history as a means to prevent their ISPs from spying. This does nothing, people. What this is you can get scripts to populate a bunch of crap into your browsing history. Your ISP does not look at your browsing history. If they did, they'd be as scary as Microsoft. Microsoft might look at your browsing history, so you could trick Microsoft with that, but you're not going to trick your ISP. This will trick somebody who has local access to the computer and wants to see what you're doing. But this is not a way around it. The only real way to pollute this is to run a botnet, also not a botnet, but run a bot on your server, like on your home computer router, that will constantly be looking up weird and obscure things. It basically clouds the data. If you can think of how an audio file looks, you've ever seen an audio file going up and down, but then if you see one with static, it'll be shh over it. That's what you can do if you can run a bot over it coming from your internet connection. That is really the only way to pollute it. But adding stuff to your web history doesn't do anything to the ISP. Might block Microsoft. Oh boy. Cyborgs at work. Yes, this is exciting. So a company in Sweden is now offering free implants, the RFID microchip implants into there. And I just got to say, this is a stupid idea, people. Can we stop implanting stuff into our bodies, please? I know I can securely unlock the door from my house, but realize as these readers become mainstreamed, I can be walking down the store and they're going to be collecting every bit more data about me as I simply walk. Of course, putting these in the office buildings, they know who's going to the bathroom, who's doing their work, who's doing what, where you are at any given point in time. That's creepy, people. And if I ever get to the point where a company's like, you have to use this little thing in here, back, Satan, back. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Oh, boy. Closed source doesn't mean it doesn't do what it says. If you want to do the checks yourself, see if it works. That code injection exploits zero-day flaw that can be used to hijack antivirus and give an attacker the ability to inject any DLL into any process. You can't never check out what's inside binary blob. Okay, have you ever tried Kali Linux? I have some Kalis running around. I don't generally talk about distros like that for the same reason when I was a chemistry professor, I never talked about bombs or explosives. I don't want to inadvertently tell somebody to do something stupid. But yeah, as a chemist, I have an extraordinary knowledge of how to make things go kaboomies. And I don't want to accidentally pass that knowledge on to some idiot. Because there's some out there. In fact, I kind of based part of that on the fact that my advisor in college said we should give bomb-making technology to all 13-year-olds and the stupid ones will get themselves out of our gene pool early. I don't know if I want to go with that philosophy or not, but, you know. All right. Absolutely ancient puppy Linux and damn small Linux are good. Yeah, okay, so this is good. Now, there's a comment to say about this, though. I actually saw a video where a guy's trying to say, people say Linux is good, blah, 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 and I'm going to show how much they're wrong. And they tried to use, it was either puppy or damn small or one of the other really light Linuxes on a computer from like the 90s. And they're like, see, I can't get on YouTube. Yeah, because YouTube takes a whole lot of processing power to run. Okay, running a video on a screen takes a massive amount of data. An old computer from the 90s, I can boot this guy up to run some basic applications. I am not going to be running Photoshop or YouTube on that. Okay, in fact, if you want to check out the limitations and stuff like that, somebody did a really cool video where they built a Raspberry Pi workstation and worked with it exclusively for, I think, a week or so. It's kind of a neat thing. It's like, not sure I want to try that, but it was a fabulous concept. Yeah, so Kali is basically it's just a utilitarian distro that is designed for penetration testing. There's really nothing much more to it than that. And is it GNOME now? I forget what OS it is. I thought it was GNOME, but I can't remember. You can check registry and host. Anti-beacon leaves comments in host files. Yeah, again though, the problem is if you if you try and block servers inside of the host file, Microsoft doesn't respect those when you're going out to do the telemetry stuff. Yeah, implanting microchips. Yeah, so these are little, basically they're RFID chips. They're powered only by the magnetic field near the reader. So they don't do anything otherwise. They're passive. They don't generally expire or anything. They're very versatile. And then the idea is you can plug them into different things. So if you have an RFID reader somewhere, you can literally plug that into your computer, go down, just go near your computer, and it will automatically unlock. The tech is not bad. I don't mind the tech in like a keychain where I can like leave it somewhere else or wrap it in aluminum foil or something and just want to use it. But the fact is that we're getting these RFID chips, putting them all over the place. The problem is as companies come in behind us and start establishing all these all over the place, what happens when a city government does something like in San Diego, there are literally like webcams now down every street, down every block, recording not just video but audio of everything going on all around it. Well, what happens when they start saying, well, let's just go ahead and put RFID readers because a certain percentage of the population has the chips. Now you have the ability to track in real time any person as they're simply taking a walk. That's the danger with these things. I would not put one of these things in my body. I don't care how much easier it makes me to unlock my smartphone just by okay. My smartphone's unlocked. I didn't have to put a fingerprint. I didn't have to do an RFID. Am I that busy? I gotta unlock my phone and cook my Pop-Tart at the same time. If you read the Pop-Tart instructions, it takes 2 seconds in the microwave. I think they say 3 seconds now, maybe 5 seconds now. But for a while, and I verified this, I saw a comedian say at one time, microwave instructions, Pop-Tart, remove the wrapper, put it in the microwave for 2 seconds on high. Never mind. If you need to save a second unlocking your phone with a good passkey, come on, people. Come on. Oh, boy. Talk about the code, made the app's work purposes, closed source. Okay. If they had fingerprint ATMs, just say a lot of rich people, a lot of their fingers. Actually, the funny thing with ATMs, I saw this one, was it Wells Fargo or Bank of America? It was one of the big banks. They're experimenting now. Get this. Cardless ATMs. You go up to the thing with your smartphone, and the thing just dispenses the money. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be a hack target. But skimmers won't work. Wow. Yeah, Kali based on Debian and GNOME desktop environment. That's what I was thinking. Yep. Yeah, Microsoft will want to give implants for free. Yes, it wants to track everything you do. How frequently are you sitting by your computer but not using it? Of course, I think Eye of Sauron can determine that though. That's Cortana if you're not familiar. That's Eye of Sauron, Cortana, whatever. Do you know the code behind that software? Okay. An interest in ethical hacking. That's why I was asking about Kali. There's there's a few resources out there to learn Kali. Unfortunately, like Google doesn't like it, so you're not going to find much on YouTube. The scary thing is you might find more about ethical hacking on the darknet than you would on the clearnet. I just don't know. As far as cubes, I've been doing some cubes tutorials, so I think I have 3 up there right now. So, walking through a lot of different configuration settings, getting things set up. So, cubes is awesome. The more I use cubes, the more I love it. It's just totally cool. And run Kali in a VM. Yeah, true. Being chipped is a yuppie accessory. Hey, I'm cool, man. I'm chipped. So are you chipped, musical Neptunes? If you are, do you have concerns about anyone tracking you with that? Because the downside about that chip being implanted in you is you can't turn it off if you want. And that's the downside. Alexa, order me some unicorn meat. I saw Alexa. I had to do that. Hey, Alexa, are you connected to the CIA? Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. So this was a funny article from Consumers, how to protect yourself from a hospital data breach. This article just made me chuckle, laugh, and go, yeah, that'll never work. So basically, health data is actually more valuable than is credit card data, because credit card data expires and health health stuff is like perpetually forever. Like if you ever watched the cartoon Doug, if you're an old guy like me, you remember the cartoon Doug on Nickelodeon? They made this big deal constantly about the permanent record, the permanent record. Your health record is like a permanent record, If you get your finger cut off, there's no way of putting it back. So basically, they did a study talking about how easy it is for data breaches to happen, especially if you're using teaching hospitals. You get students that don't have all that data security, doctors laying off staffs, you get disgruntled people going back and forth. So you have all sorts of stuff. So here's their ideas. Limit the personal information you provide. Think twice before allowing your driver's license or state ID to be photocopied at the hospital. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. I'm privacy conscious. I will not let you scan my driver's license. That ain't going to fly, people. If the registrant information asks for your social security number, do you really need this? They're going to say yes. This isn't going to work. Ask healthcare providers and staff how they protect patient information. They're going to look at you with a blind stare. What do you mean protection? Of course, they're not supposed to do that, and I hope most of them don't. But I've encountered things like that before. Read all correspondence from your healthcare provider, including your health insurer. Act fast if you spot something concerning, medical appointments you're unfamiliar with, and ask what steps will be taken in the event of a breach. Well, in the event of a breach, we're going to lie about it for as long as we possibly can. When it becomes public knowledge, we're going to deny any culpability and apologize profusely from my yacht, from our CEO's yacht. Yeah, that's about how it's going to go. What else? So I thought that article was quite comical. Let's see. AIG taps into consumer fear. So with all of this, I thought this was a very telling way to end. Now with all of this hacking and all this kind of stuff going back and forth, saw a shadow over there on my kitty cam. I thought that another cat was coming in. Now AIG is now offering insurance policies for cybersecurity stuff. Family Cyber Edge. So that's an interesting concept. I just thought I'd throw it out there. It exists. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with that. Let's look at the comments there. Comments and kitty cams. Watching stream your laptop from your phone's hotspot, but you can't find your phone. Uh-oh. What is scary about the setup, Bluey? I'm curious to know. A willing suspension of privacy. There's a video out there where they ask Alexa that question and it shuts down. Alexa runs Ubuntu IoT repo. Can you make a video on the complete guide to block all tractors and other nonsense in Linux while browsing? I'm actually working on that on cubes. To do it from a basic system is a little bit more complicated, but I'm actually working on a cubes build to do that very thing. So you'd have one internet thing that would had some availabilities, and you had another one that was not quite so availabilities. And so you had that kind of stuff going. I have somebody knocking on my wall. I'm guessing that I'm being too loud for my neighbor. I'm going to try and keep it a little bit quieter. The scary thing is I can actually hear my neighbor snoring. I should knock back, but I don't want to. All right. No, I had no idea there was a connection between Canonical and Amazon. All right, so I wanted to get into a little bit of fun news before our final thing. This was neat. Amazon Cash. So they're changing their gift cards around so that you can now actually reload gift cards with cash. And so with that being said, what you can do is you can utilize cash, put it on your gift card, and then use that on Amazon. So I thought this was a great idea because, of course, they want to store any credit or debit cards you ever give them. And I'd like to remove those, just get those off. And I'm thinking of trying this out just because it doesn't cost anything extra. It's just like using a gift card. Of course, the only downside is you got to keep that little bit of rolling balance on there every now and again. But if you know exactly the purchase you want to make, you know exactly what it's going to cost, you can go to the store, put that exact amount on your account. It's available automatically from Amazon. So literally, you could get an order ready in your store, know exactly what it's going to cost, go to a local store that supports this, scan a card, which you don't even have to have. You can do it on your phone, but you can do it as a separate standalone card, and then literally pay cash at the store. They're going to add that money to your account, which is available immediately, and then you can use your gift card to order. So now you can officially pay with cash on Amazon through those other resources. So that is a fascinating, good thing. I think this is a step in the neat direction. Of course, they're trying to do this to capture that 25% of the market that does not have banks. So this is a neat concept here. All right. So our final story / news of the day is shut your pie hole. I'm going to get rid of Google now, too. Sorry, I realized I didn't show you any of that Amazon thing. I closed it down, but you can look it up. It's on Amazon Cash. Just look that up. I apologize. I'm too taken back by this. Pi says broadband market is too competitive for strict privacy rules. Shut your pie hole. FCC chair ignores lack of home internet competition in argument against privacy rules. We don't need privacy rules. There's too much competition. I'd laugh hysterically right now, but I'm afraid my neighbor's going to knock on my wall again. This guy is the most incompetent retard ever to walk the streets in D.C. Why in the world this idiot is still in a chairman's position at the FCC is flabbergasting to me. Okay, so my goal, what I wanted to do if I had more time, is going to get a standing picture of him and put him in a NASCAR suit, plastered with all of the different logos and stuff. But I totally didn't have time. I was getting there. I just ran out of time. Raise your hand if you have internet competition. I don't. I have one choice if I want to stream. One. There's 3 or 4 other somewhat internet companies. In fact, 5 miles down the street, where a friend of mine lives, kind of in a back area, they have one choice for broadband. It's full. They cannot add new internet customers. It's completely full. They have, that means there are people there with no access to internet at all, unless maybe you could do a dial-up. 0101001101. I am too rusty on my binary. What does that mean? Of course, Ars Technica tells us that, yeah, there is very little choice at each individual customer's homes. What is? I didn't look at this one. Okay, percentages of developed census blocks in which provides reported deployment, fixed residential. Okay, so at least 3 Mbps, at least 10. Okay, at least 100. So at least 3 Mbps. Well, we have 3 or more providers in 70% of the market with 3 Mbps, which, by the way, is not sufficient to watch basic YouTube. At least 10 Mbps, 3 or more, and 66%, at least 25, 4, and look at that, 100. Yeah. What is that, 1%? There's no competition for this. And this guy's using all of these things to... Oh. Wow. Yeah, I think I tried Verizon internet out here once. That's the second fastest. Couldn't watch YouTube on it. No, let alone upload. Upload speed was like I couldn't do anything upload wise. One provider for this area. We have one provider here basically. If you ever gotten a job you weren't qualified for, I don't know. If it was, I don't know it, or I qualified myself pretty quick. All right, so FCC charter no longer required to... Once again, this guy's an incompetent retard. So the Charter, Time Warner, and Bright House merger is a 3-way merger which basically produced a thing called a monopoly. A condition of this is they had to build up broadband competition by allowing infrastructure that allowed for 1 million people in markets where consumers only had one choice. Well, today the FCC voted to scrap that requirement. They just asked Charter to build its own network elsewhere. Can we get this incompetent retard out of the FCC? Please? Is it any more blatantly obvious that this guy receives millions of paybacks from these telecom companies? Can us 72% of people who reject this stuff, and 72% Republican and 72% Democrat, like 72% of the population, can we all band together and say, Trump, you can stay. That idiot leaves. Get him out. Go. Yeah. So, you can allow this somewhat monopoly as long as you provide 1 million customers elsewhere so the monopoly doesn't occur. No, you can have your monopoly. Yeah, you can have your monopoly all day long. Of course, he's seeking to undo net neutrality. I mean, this has always been his goal. We knew this. But of course, he wants to get rid of the whole common carrier thing. He wants the FTC to regulate the companies, which does nothing, by the way. Wants to undo the net neutrality concept. He just wants to just keep going. I mean, and you know what his plan is? I think he has his plans over here. I forget where I read his plan. Okay, so his plan is, get this, that the companies should regulate themselves. On net neutrality, the companies should regulate themselves. Oh yes, I'm the CEO of Comcast. I have a financial stake in Hulu. I don't have a financial stake in Netflix. Let's just turn down the network on bandwidth on Netflix there. Yep. Yeah. We're regulating it ourselves. Of course, if you heard all of the glorious and righteous arguments, we can block pornography. No, they block conservative sites and Christian channels. Actually, the pornography gets through just fine because FCC chair is probably watching it all. I hate to make those types of claims, but this guy's an incompetent retard. Can we please get this guy out? Net neutrality is a good thing, people. It prevents unscrupulous idiot companies like Comcast and Time Warner from tiering other services so they can sell their own. Comcast is working on their own streaming service. Do you really think they want Netflix to perform as well as Comcast's own streaming services on their internet line? No, they will not self-regulate. What in the world kind of Kool-Aid are they feeding you? Can I get some of that millions of dollars thrown my way? Or can you just show yourself as the corrupt idiot you are so you get out of office? Wow. One provider for this area. There are more, but the areas are restricted. Yep. Have you ever gotten a job? Okay. So use 2 strings and a cup. Not sure what I have to talk to my neighbor about. I think he's just mad because it's like midnight 30 and he snores too loud. I should knock on his wall every time I hear him snore. Stop snoring over there. We're one of the unicorn small towns that actually has 100 Mbps. Oh, I sense movement on the kitty cam. Movement on the kitty cam. Oh, that right there is called a cuteness bomb. Yeah, sort of. He does a cuteness bomb when he does a full somersault. And then he'll stick his paws up in the air. Okay, your internet connection must be made of unicorn farts. Yes. They all need removed. Greetings, Lamar. Or is it Lamer? I don't know. Alright. Taking it back to his Indian tech scammer roots. I vote Tom for the FCC. Woohoo! I don't know. I don't know if you want me up there. Like Dave Ramsey, I might start a war. No, Comcast! Statement about where we were headed. We have a Minority Report future. Yes, we do. But the guy next door thinks you're a psycho. I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know what's up with that guy. He stays in his house all day long on them computers. Yeah, sorry for staying up so late, folks. I probably should run myself soon here. Let's see. Uverse. I think it'd be faster to carry carrier pigeons. 6 Mbps here. Yeah. Okay, the apartment walls here are so thin that I'm pretty sure I can get 5 neighbors' Wi-Fi signals from Comcast. But the problem I have frequently is that I have so much overlap here, I cannot get internet in my living room very well. But if I go to the picnic table 50 yards straight out this wall here, I can get internet from my network. But yeah, I think they're paper thin. I think there is absolutely no insulation. These apartments are so absolutely cheap. I kind of wish I stayed in the last apartment I was at because at least I had 10 inches of concrete between me and my neighbor. And the fact that actually there my office was in the middle of my 2 other rooms. And this one here, I have an office wall touching a neighbor's wall. And so that's problematic. I have another room I could use as the office, but this one's bigger. And why not take the slightly bigger room for your tax write-off, you know? FCC regulates ISPs as utilities. Not for long, they don't. They want to. The old FCC wanted to. The new FCC wants them regulated as businesses under the FTC. They want to get rid of that because as utilities, they're common carrier, and common carriers have more regulations than do businesses. And that's precisely why I don't want to use the VPNs. Right now, they are still common carrier, and it means it's a little bit more protected. Yeah, kitty's being cute. Kitty, kitty. Oh, he's dead to the world, yeah. I need to do what the cat is doing, yes. Sounds like you need a new channel. I was waiting for Tom's live stream. Fortunately, joined in Roko's live stream. All 3 streams were on. Yeah, I didn't see the other ones. All right. Some ISPs are equal, but some are more equal than others. Yeah. Well, it's late. We've been on here for about an hour and a half now, and the kitty has changed positions. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and feed the kitties on the Kitty Cat live stream, Bodacious Kitty Cam, because that's just awesomely cute to see the kitties feeding on kitty snacks. But I think we are going to go ahead and wrap this up right here. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to feed the kitties if you want to stick around for that, and then I'm going to end the stream. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, well, kitty snack? Is that a kitty snack I hear? Kitty snacks? Kitty snacks? Kitty, kitty. Hey, where's your sister? Oh, this way. Nope, gotta go this way. Oh, there she comes. Come on. Oh, look at this cuteness. You can't even see the cuteness, but he's slightly off camera. Alright, you guys right here. There you go. And then I always get them to eat one more this way. Here you go. Here's your last one. And here's your last one. Yeah. Alright, kitties are happy. Have a good night, everybody.